please make sure you write those things down. We're doing the warm-up, going over the homework, elimination, multiplication, homework in the packet, review your notes, and tutoring at 3 p.m. Let's pull out our planner so we can write down. Pull out our planner. This is week number 4. Oh, excuse me, man. All right, Math 1 tutoring today at 3 p.m. And then we have Math 1 homework. Please don't forget to also work on iReady.
What does that do?
What iReady? It's the second week in May.
3 lessons, right? 3 lessons.
3 lessons. I'll pause for the pause. All right, let's look at the warm-up. Just write this down on a separate sheet, sucker, so you don't have to do it again, okay? Label it Wednesday warm-up. All right, so we're doing axis of symmetry and the vertex here, and then you're finding the zeros of this function here, okay? Then it says set 9 data points given. These are your 9 data points. If the 10th data point is 45 is added to the data, will the median increase or decrease, or will it remain the same? Okay. So if I add 45, is that going to change? Is that going to change what the middle number is? So you'd have to put them in order from least to greatest to find the middle number first, and then do add 45 on the end to see if the middle number changed. Okay. Will the mean increase or decrease? And mean is average. So is the average going to increase if I add 45 to the list, or is the average going to decrease if I add 45 to the list? So I need you to do those. I'm going to pause for the calls, and I'm going to check your homework. All right, keep in mind, guys, I do go over them, but you need to try these on your own. That's the only way you're going to know where you get lost at. If you're waiting on me and then just copy it and then not focus on what I'm doing, you're not good. That's not how you learn it. You need to try it on your own first, okay? All right, so let's do axis of symmetry first. So I'm going to do that over to the side. That's the AOS. Does anybody remember what the formula is for axis of symmetry? Yes, Anastasia? Negative B divided by 2A. So now you have to label what your A, your B, and we're going to go ahead and label C, even though you don't need it for the axis of symmetry. All right, so let's label that. What's my A? 1, the number in front of the x squared term. What's my B?
7.
7, and C? 10. Okay. All right, so we're going to substitute. We got x is equal to, negative is a part of the formula. What's B?
7. Negative. So
it'll be negative 7. Good. 2 times what?
1.
1. Okay, so we got our x is going to be a negative what?
Negative 7 over 2.
Which is what?
3.5.
Negative 3.5. Okay. So that's our axis of symmetry is negative 3.5. Any questions? Yes, baby.
I pretty much did the same thing. I just put it in the calculator.
Okay, I want us, when on these, you need to try to do it on pencil and paper because this will be on your calculated inactive section. Okay. So for my vertex, what's my x coordinate for my vertex?
Negative 3.5.
Negative 3.5. Okay, so now how do we figure out what your y coordinate is going to be?
You plug in the x for the equation.
You plug in the x into the equation. So this is technically y is equal to. So your y is equal to, we got a negative 3.5. Please make sure you put that in parentheses, okay? Because it's negative 3.5. Make sure you include that in the parentheses. We got plus 7 times, Cooper, sit up, please, a negative 3.5. And then we have plus the 10, okay? So now what does this give us? A negative times a negative is a positive. What's 3.5 times 3.5? So you could do 3.5 times 3.5 out to the side. 5 and 5 is what? 25. 5 and 3, 15, 17. And then we do 3, 15, and 9
plus 1 is 10.
is 10. Now add it together. What's this give you? 5, 12, 2, 1. How many spaces behind the decimal? 2. It's 1 here and 1 here. 1 plus 1 is 2. So this is going to be what?
12.25.
All right, 12.25. Then we got here, let's multiply this together. So that's going to be 3.5 times 7. What does that give us? Come on, y'all. What is this?
That's 35.
35. Oops, sorry. What's this?
23. That's 21 plus
21 plus 3.
24.
24. And how many decimal spaces?
21.
It's 1. So this is, we multiply. So this is going to be a negative what?
24.5.
And then plus 10. Okay. So now let's combine this. We're going to subtract. So that's going to give us a negative what? Anybody know? Let's subtract it. We got 24.5. We got minus the 12 point, what I say, 25. Put a 0 here. Okay, so this is 4. This is 10. What does this give us? 5. This gives us 2. This gives us 2. This gives us 1. So now we're going to bring down the decimal. This is a negative. Yes, negative. And then we're going to add 10. So what does that give us when we add 10? Negative 2.25. Now, you will have to do this basic math like this on your test, okay? So I wanted to model that because this problem would be calculated inactive. Any questions? Brianna, you okay? You sleep. Tired. All right, let's do this one. How do we find our zeros? What do we do to solve this quadratic function? Okay, this has to be, y has to be 0.
Oh, but you have to factor it.
You have to factor it. So how do we factor when there's a number other than 1 right here? What do we have to do? Yes. Find the GCF first. So what's the GCF? Anybody know?
2.
Thank you. It's 2. Sorry, I had to burp. Excuse me. So take out a 2, and what does that leave you with? X to the second. Negative 4 or minus 4x. Negative 12 or minus 12. Okay. Now let's factor this. Keep bringing the 2 down. Okay. We got 2 parentheses. What do we put in each parenthesis? We put x in each. What do we do? How do we figure out what these numbers are going to be here? No, not a factor. That's okay. T-chart. All right. And so what's the number going to be here? Negative 12. And the number here? Negative 4. So what 2 numbers can be multiplied to give you a negative 12, but when you add them, you get a negative 4. Negative 6 and 2. Negative 6 times a positive 2. If I add negative 6 plus positive 2, I get a negative 4. So what am I going to put in this first parenthesis here? X what?
X minus 6.
And this is X what?
Plus 2.
Plus 2. So now I set each of these equal to 0, correct?
Yeah.
So 2 equal to 0, we don't even need this, right? It's not true. So now we have X minus 6 is equal to 0. So X here is going to be equal to what number?
6.
Positive 6. Okay. Then we have X plus 2 is equal to 0. So X here is going to be equal to what?
Negative 2.
Negative 2. Okay. So which one is the smaller 0? The negative 2 is the smallest zero, so this is my answer. Any questions about that? Is there anyone that's lost? Yes, baby, go ahead. Okay, so where did you get lost? Because you didn't say anything, but where did you get lost for real?
When you split them into two.
Okay. So you were okay with me putting 0 here?
Yeah.
And I brought this down. Okay. And then I had to factor by finding GCF. So what is the greatest common factor between all three? Is going to be 2. Are you okay with that part? So when I take out a 2, I'm left with x squared here, then minus 4x, then minus 12. Are you okay with those numbers? Okay. Now I got to factor. I keep bringing this down. Now I factor this. So because this is a 1 in front, I know, and it's a trinomial, I know I'm going to have 2 parentheses. You good with that? So I put x in this one and x in that. Are you okay with that? So now I got to make my t-chart. Do you remember the t-chart? The back, this first column is going to be this back number, which is negative 12. Are you okay? And the middle number is going to go here. So what you do is you think, what 2 numbers can be multiplied to give you a negative 12? And those same 2 numbers can be added together to give you the middle number, which is negative 4. Does that make sense? Okay. So the only 2 is negative 6 times 2. Negative 6 plus 2 gives me negative 4. So those are the 2 numbers that work. Are you okay with that? Yes, no, maybe? So now you're going to take all of these factors and set them equal to 0. So that's 2 is equal to 0, which is not true. That's x minus 6 is equal to 0. And that's x plus 2 is equal to 0. And you solve for x. All right, let's look at this last one. This is, if I add 45 to this list, is that going to change? Will the median increase or decrease?
Increase.
All right, so let's put them in order first so I can figure that out. They're not in order. What's the smallest number?
3.
The smallest number is 3. I'm going to put them here. 3, and then what's the next number? 5. Next number? 7. That's okay. Then the next number? 8. Then the next number?
9.
Then the next number? Hold on. 9. Then 10, somebody said.
You forgot to cross out the 8.
Oh, thank you, babe. And then what's the next number?
11.
And then what?
12.
Okay. All right. So now the middle number here is what? I'm going to go this. Just pick out the middle number.
9.
The middle number is 9. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4 on this side. Okay. So now if I put 45 on the end, okay. So I do this again. What's my middle number going to be this time? This.
It was be 9.
It's still going to be 9, okay? So it's going to remain the what?
Remain the same.
It's going to remain the same, okay? All right, so what about my mean? That's the average of the numbers. If I add 45 to the numbers, is that going to increase or decrease the, it's not going to be the same because 45, I mean, that's going to make it what? Is that going to increase the mean or decrease it? It's definitely going to be an increase. Any questions about that? Yes.
For the mean, don't you add up the numbers and then you divide by how many numbers?
Yes. To find the mean, you add all the numbers together and divide by how many numbers are in the list. Okay, let's look at the homework, please. All right, Hatcher, please write this down today, okay? Because you didn't write it yesterday. A couple of you did not write any of this down. I need you to write this down. Okay, so let's do number 3. I need to sit down because my legs. All right, so let's do it. Okay, so number 3, it's saying that the larger leg of the right triangle. So let's draw a right triangle. Draw it out to the side. Because you got to see it. The legs are these right here. This is the larger leg for me. So this larger leg is three longer than the smaller one. Okay? So let's label them first. So what's this side going to be?
A.
This is A. What's this side?
B.
B. And what's this side?
C.
C. All right? Any questions? Yes, baby. Go ahead. Up like that? Okay. Is that good? Okay. So now it's saying the longer leg. Which one of these is the longer leg, A or B?
A.
A. So it's saying that A is 3 times longer than the smaller one. So A is equal to 3 plus what? B.
B.
Any questions? That's the first sentence. Is there anyone that's lost?
No.
The hypotenuse, which one of these letters is the hypotenuse? So C that's equal to 6 longer than the smaller leg. So how do I write is 6 longer than the smaller leg?
6 plus B.
Okay, 6 plus B. Any questions? Okay. Period. That's that sentence. It says, how many centimeters is the smaller leg? So which letter are we solving for?
B.
The B. We got to figure out what B is. Any questions about what I just said? This is a right triangle. How do you find the missing length of a right triangle? What do you use? Yes. Pythagorean theorem. What is the formula for Pythagorean theorem? A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Write this down, sweetie. You're not writing anything down. Come on. Brianna, make sure you check your work is right, okay? All right, so what am I going to substitute in the place of A?
3 plus B.
3 plus B, or I'm going to put it the other way around because it looks easier. B plus 3, okay? Any questions about how I got that? Plus, what do I plug in for B?
B plus.
Just B squared. It's just B. It's missing.
All right.
Yes, babe.
How'd you get the B plus 3?
Right here, do you agree that this side is A, this side is B, this side is C? Okay, the first sentence says that the longer leg, these are my legs. Which one is longer, A or B? A is longer. So it's the longer leg of the triangle is. So A is, because that's the longer one, 3 centimeters longer than the small. So that means it's 3 plus the small, which is B. Do you see that? Do you understand that this is longer than this one?
Yeah, I didn't understand how you got like the B plus 3 to the second power.
Because it's part of the formula. A is B plus 3. So I just replace A with B plus 3. Do you understand that now? Now, what do I replace with C?
6 plus B.
6 plus B. Or it's easier to look at it like that, B plus 6. Any questions so far? Yeah, thank you. I sure did. Jesus, take the wheel. Anybody lost so far? So now you have to simplify this, okay? So out to the side, this problem is easy because all I had to do was do GCF here. Let me get this out the way. What's the GCF between these two? 3A. And what's the left?
A squared.
A squared.
No.
Oh, A, sorry. A plus what?
Plus 4.
This is it. Okay, that was all you had to do there. All right, so I'm gonna box this in because I need the space. All right, so now I'm gonna simplify this. I'm gonna take it one step at a time. Come on, guys, because I need you to understand what we're doing. All right, I'm gonna do this part first, out to the side. B plus 3 squared is the same as saying b plus 3 times b plus 3. Anybody lost with why this is the same as this?
No.
Now I got to multiply. What can I use to multiply those two binomials together?
Distributive property.
I could do distributive property. What's the other way?
The full method.
Full method. FOIL. First, outer, inner, last. What's my first?
B squared.
B times B, which is B squared. What's my outer?
3b.
B times 3 is 3B. What's my inner?
3B.
3B. 3 times B is 3B. And what's my last?
6.
No,
Oh, 9.
9. 3 times 3 is 9. Any questions about how I did this?
No.
Do you understand this, Dalton?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, can you tap your neighbor, please? Come on, you need to write this down.
Hey,
Shh. All right, here we go. So now let's combine the terms that are alike. What terms are alike?
3B and 3B.
3B plus 3B. What does that give you?
6B.
So we got B squared plus what? 6B
Plus 9.
plus 9. Any questions? So that's what I'm going to write for this. I'm going to write B squared plus 6B plus 9. Bring down the B squared, correct? Hello?
Yes.
Now I need to do this side. I'm going to do it the same way. All right, so let's write it. How do I write B plus 6 to the second power?
B plus 6 times B plus 6.
B plus 6 times B plus 6. See if you can do this on your own without me, and then I'll do it. Ready? All right, here we go. So this is full. FOIL. What's the first?
B squared.
B squared. B times B is B squared. What's the outer?
6B.
That's these two. That's plus 6B. What about the inner?
6B.
That's plus 6B. And what's the last?
36.
Plus 36. What terms did you combine?
The two 6B's.
And what does that give you?
12B.
So this is B squared plus what?
12B.
Plus 36. Great job. Raise your hand if you got that right by yourself. Okay, that's great. Okay. Now, what kind of function do you think we're going to end up solving? Quadratic. Why we say quadratic? Because what? Because we have an x squared term. All right, so now you need to move everything to the same side so that y is equal to 0 in order to solve it. Let's combine like terms over here first. What can we combine together?
B squared.
B squared and B squared, that's what?
B to the 4th.
No.
2b squared.
2B squared.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It's not good to laugh at people. My apologies. Forgive me. I'm sorry. All right. Do we have anything that we can combine over here? No. I pulled a Dalton that one. I'm sorry. Yeah, you just laugh at people all the time. All right. So now I need to move these over here. So in order to move the B squared over here, I subtract the B squared. What about how do I move a positive 12? I subtract the 12B. And what about this?
Subtract 36.
Okay, so let's subtract them. So I'm going to subtract. This is actually 1B squared here. I'm going to subtract 12B here. And I'm going to subtract what? 36. Now, when I subtract this side, this is going to be what?
0.
That's 0. So now let's do this side. What's 2B squared minus 1B squared?
B squared.
That's B squared. What's 6B minus 12B?
Negative 6B.
And what's 9 minus 36?
25. Negative 25.
Negative 25. So now we got to, sorry, baby. Negative 27. You're right. Oops,
Oh, yeah.
It's negative 27. Thank you, baby. Yeah, b has to be positive. So now how do you solve a quadratic function? You factor. Very good, Anastasia, you factor. So how do we factor this? T-chart. What do we put in the T-chart?
Negative 27 on the left.
Negative 27
And then negative 6.
and then negative 6. What two numbers can be multiplied to give me a negative 27, but when I add them, I get a negative 6? Yes, go ahead. Negative 9 times a positive 3. Negative 9 plus 3, yes, it gives me a negative 6. Okay, so you know you're going to have, what are you going to write here? I don't want to give it away. The two parentheses,
and then put B.
put B for each. And what do you put in this one?
B minus 9.
B minus 9.
And B plus 3.
And B plus 3. Okay. And very good. Who said that? Peyton? Set them both equal to 0. Now what do you get? B is positive 9. And what's the other one? Okay, so now which one of these has to be the answer? No. You can't have a negative length. You can't have a negative length. So it has to be a positive 9. Do you understand that? That it can't be, that your answer can't be negative? Oh, Jesus, bless his heart over there. Boy, God knows. So your answer is going to be 9. The smaller leg is 9.
Okay, that makes sense. So that means the A is 12.
So yeah, that means that A is 12 because you add 3. What's C then?
15.
It's 15. Any questions, comments, or concerns? All right, and the other ones, I'm going to just have to break down and do a video. I don't really want to because you jokers just copy. I really want to know. I'm only going to do a video for Tuesday. You need to do Wednesday on your own. And then I'll come back and do Wednesday. Because you're not really doing it on your own. You're just copying what's in the video. All right, so in our notebook, page 13, we're finishing the one from yesterday. All right, so here, when we do this problem, we already eliminated the x's by addition. And when we solve for y, we got negative 6. We chose the first equation to copy again to substitute negative 6 in the place of y. So now we got to solve for x. So in order to solve for x, is there anybody lost before I continue? This is probably the first one. You got it? Okay. Yes, baby. 13. All right, so now let's multiply this together. What's negative 2 times negative 6?
12.
So this is going to give me a positive 12. Bring everything down. Now what are we going to do to get x by itself?
Subtract 12.
When I subtract 12, Cooper, let's write this down. When I subtract 12, this is gone, and we're left with negative 4x is equal to negative 24. Good job. Alyssa, sit up, babe. Now what are we going to do to get x by itself?
Subtract. Divide by negative 4.
Divide by negative 4. And that's going to give me x is equal to what?
Positive 6.
A positive 6. So what's going to be our solution here? 6 comma negative 6. This is the solution. Questions? That's number 1, right? I don't know. Yeah. All right, so we should have already done 2 and 3, right? So I need us to do 4, 5, and 6. Let's do those now. Pause to give you time to get those done, and then I'm going to move on to multiplying. Okay? I'm not going to show you how to do those. I am going to give you the answer unless you need me to show you. Okay? But you at this point, you should have already had one. This is one. Number 2 should be completed. Number 3 should be completed. So we're doing 1 through 6. Got it? 1 through 6 in our notebook. We've already done 1, 2, and 3, so you're just doing the next 3. Unless you didn't do 1, 2, and 3, then you need to go back and do those and do 1 through 6. Any questions? And I'm going to put those up here for those of you that don't have the sheet, okay? Got it? This is number 2. Number 3, Dalton. Sammy, I need you to work on the problems, please. Okay, pause and give us some time to complete those. All right, so I'm going to show you how to do elimination by multiplication. This is when you can't add or subtract. All right, so let's do this. 3x plus 4y is equal to 6. And this is 5x plus 2y is equal to a negative 4. Okay, so I can't eliminate either one of these by adding or subtracting. So then what I do is think of which ones is going to be easy to eliminate if I can get the numbers to say the same, like a common denominator. So which one would be easy? Which one would be the easiest one to get to the same number? 3 and 5 or 2 and 4? 2 and 4. All I'd have to do, what could I multiply times 2 to get 4? 2. So I'm going to multiply everything by 2. So this is going to stay the same. And this would be what?
10x.
10x
4y.
plus 4y.
Times a thing of 18.
So now what do I do to eliminate? Add or subtract. And I'll do the same thing.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yes. It is. It's not that bad. And we'll practice it tomorrow.